All right, 1 second here. Okay. So everybody's muted. If anybody has any issues throughout the class, you can unmute yourself, but I'm going to keep the class muted. So we are doing about a 35-minute workout today, a little bit more of an accessory workout, I would say. So we're targeting a little bit of our glutes and a lot of our core. So you will need a yoga mat, 1 dumbbell, and that's about it. We're going to be working a timed, so 45 seconds and then 10 seconds of rest. We're going to do each exercise twice. There's 9 exercises in total. And then we're going to repeat the circuit again, doing each exercise 2 times in a row, all 9 exercises. So much more on the accessory side, a lot of deep core stabilization, a little bit of glute isolation. So I'll go through and just show what we're doing today, and then we'll get warmed up and we will get going. So we're starting with everybody's favorite, bear hold. So this is really targeting our deep core stabilizing muscles. So as we come into our bear hold, I want you to imagine your bottom ribs are reaching down towards the top of your hips. So you're coming into a slight posterior tilt of your tailbone. Your shoulders will be stacked directly over your wrists. Knees are hip width apart, toes are curled under. Bring that core stabilization in, and we're gonna lift our knees, and we're holding here for 45 seconds. So very tough. If at any point you need to drop your knees down, restabilize through that core, please feel free to do that. So the second exercise is our bear hold climbers. Those of you that were in my Yoga Fit class this Wednesday will remember these. So coming back into that bear hold, and we're just gonna bring one knee in towards center at a time, slow, steady motion here. So we're not going for fast momentum, we're going for that muscle connection. From there, we are going into our clamshell. So laying on our left side first, working our right leg. The difference here is our heels are gonna be elevated, coming into those clamshells. If you have a booty band and you'd like to use it, you can. We're going to be doing 10 clamshells, then extending that top leg, doing 10 circles one direction, 10 circles the opposite direction, back into those clamshells for that 45 full seconds. Then we're going to flip onto our other side and do the opposite side. So each side is its own 45 seconds. And remember, we're doing each side 2 times. So each exercise twice, and then we're moving on to the next. From there, after we work our clamshell, so nice little isolation, we're bringing our dumbbell to our hip. Feet will be in hip width apart. We're coming into that bridge stance, and we're coming into some dumbbell hip thrust. So nice, slow, and steady. Squeeze those glutes at the top, lifting our hips to the ceiling. From there, we are coming into a figure 8 pass. So the dumbbell is going to start in one hand. Legs are up, lower the left leg. We're going to pass it behind the right, alternating, making those figure 8. Chin is staying tucked in towards the chest, and the lower back is staying grounded in the mat. From there, we're coming into a double crunch. The weight's going to be by your chest. The feet are starting on the floor, and then everything's coming into center. Tap those feet and the shoulders and head down. Everything comes back into center. From there, we're coming into a crescent crunch. The weight's at our chest, elbows out to the side, chin is tucked in, and we're reaching the elbow, left elbow towards the left heel, and then over to the right, back to the left, really isolating through the oblique. And lastly, we're coming into around the world. The dumbbell is going to be in one hand, legs up, head is starting on the ground as well as the shoulders. We're going to crunch up to pass that dumbbell behind the legs. The left hand's going to grab it, lower back down, and we're crunching up to pass it behind those legs. For the second 45, we'll switch directions. And those are your workouts today. So a lot of fun, a lot of shorter, smaller little movements here to really isolate through our core and through our glutes. So come into a seated position to begin. So take a nice deep breath. At any point you need to grab a sip of water, please feel free to stop and hydrate. So we're gonna run through everything for 45 seconds, 2 times in each exercise, then we'll take a little break, have a sip of water, and then we're gonna start that all over again. So come into a comfortable seat, the right hand's coming to the left knee, left hand behind the lower back. We're just gonna come into a nice gentle twist to start. So start to connect to that breath. I want you moving with your breath during these exercises. And then switch directions, the left hand to right knee, right hand behind the lower back. And back to center, left palm on the ground, right arm reaches up and over towards the left. Finding a nice length through the right side of the body. And inhale to center, right hand down, the left arm reaches over. And back to center, hands interlace, pressing the palms away from the body. Inhale, reach those arms up, arch through the back, chest lift, maybe lifting the gaze towards your ceiling. And then as you exhale, start to press those palms away from you, round through the upper back, allow the chin to tuck in towards the chest. Again, inhale, lifting the arms up, arching. And exhale to round. One more time, inhale to lift. And exhale to arch. Good, releasing those hands, roll the shoulders back a few times. And then placing the left shin out in front so that knee is bent at a 90-degree angle. You're gonna internally rotate the right leg so that leg is also at a 90 degrees. So you're coming into your 90-90 stance. The hands are gonna walk out and in front of that left shin until you feel a nice stretch through the glutes. We're holding here for a breath or two. And then start walking back up to center. You can place your left hand down, lean into that left hand, swing the right leg out, and we're gonna switch legs. So the right shin is now in front of the body, knee is at that 90 degree, internally rotating the left leg, and then we're gonna slowly walk forward. And coming back up to center, lean into that right hand, swing that left leg in front, and we are gonna get started. So we're coming into that bear hold first. We have 10 seconds. So coming into that tabletop position, getting ready, engage that core. And this one is just our hold. So we're lifting our knees up off the mat, pressing nice and firmly into our hands so we don't sink through the shoulders. Core is nice and engaged. We're gazing between the hands so we don't put any strain on the neck. And we're holding here and we're breathing. We're not holding our breath. At any point, you need to drop the knees, feel free to do so. If you need to reset your core or your pelvis, keep pushing through those palms, nice strong arms. Don't let your core sink down. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And drop those knees, take a 10-second rest, maybe roll those shoulders back, roll out your wrists. And we're coming right back into that bear hold. Get ready, lift up the knees. Good job. We're holding here last time in this bear hold. Core stays engaged. The knees are just hovering over the mat, about an inch or two up. Nice strong arms. We're halfway through. Make sure you're breathing. 10 more seconds. Good job. Zip that core in nice and tight. And rest. Drop those knees down. Roll out the wrists. Roll the shoulders if you need to. We're coming right back into those bear holds. This time we're doing our bear hold climbers. Lift the knees. Right knee comes in, and then the left. Just a quick little break between each exercise. The arms should be firing up, maybe feeling it in the shoulders. At any point, you need to reset that core, bring it back in nice and tight. Hands come back down, and lifting those knees. Make sure you're not holding your breath. This one's really going to start to elevate that heart rate. And rest. Roll out those wrists if you need to. 10 seconds here. So heart rate elevating, working that upper body as well. The last time in these bear hold climbers. Lift the knees, set the pelvis, bring that core in. Nice, strong upper body. Make sure you're breathing. Palms really grounding down. If you need to flip your wrists at all, if you're feeling them getting really fatigued, a little bit sore, and then come right back in. Slow, steady movement. Almost there. And rest. Coming onto our left side first. Coming into our clamshells plus leg circles. So elevate those heels. And then we're just opening and closing the knees. You can rest your head down. You can prop it up with your left hand, whatever feels comfortable. Tent the right fingers in front of the body. And then extend that leg up. And we're doing little circles with the right leg. Keep that left heel elevated. Switch direction. And we're back into those clamshells. 10 more seconds, right to the end. So slow and steady. Use that muscle connection versus momentum. And we're resting. We're doing this one more time this side before we flip over. So make sure you're breathing here. And heels elevated. And we are coming back into those clamshells. Three more clamshells. 2 and 1. Elevate that right leg. Circles in one direction. 3, 2, 1. Circles in the opposite direction. 3, 2, 1. Back into the clamshells to the end. Keep those heels lifted. Core is still engaged. You should be feeling that right glute really firing up. And rest, flipping onto the right side. Coming right back down. Getting set up, heels together, lifting those heels up. And we are lifting into our clamshells. Make sure you're breathing. For 3, 2, and 1. Lift that left leg, little circles here. For 3, 2, 1. Opposite direction. And heels together, back into the clamshells. Good job. Right to the end. And rest. You can place the heels down. 10 seconds here. Come back to the breath. Nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Good job. Elevate those heels back to our clamshells, really isolating through that left glute now. For 3, 2, 1. Elevate that leg, little circles. Good job. Opposite direction. Heels back together, back into our clamshells. Make sure you're breathing. And rest, grabbing your weight, coming into those hip thrusts. So on our back, feet are hip width apart, dumbbell on our hips, and we're lifting the hips up to the ceiling, squeeze the glutes, slowly lower down. So we're going for slow and controlled movements. We're not just throwing our hips in the air. We are squeezing those glutes. We're using the glutes to lift the hips up, and we're holding just for a moment at the top. Good. Make sure you're breathing. The shoulders, the head, nice and relaxed. Just moving from the lower body. And rest one more time. So 3, 2, and 1. Lifting those hips up, squeeze those glutes at the top. Try not to let your knees fall inward or outward. They're staying directly in line with your hips. Nice, strong leg. We're just gently holding the dumbbell in place. We have 30 more seconds here to really be feeling those glutes firing. Make sure you're breathing. Less than 10 seconds, right to the end. For 2 and 1, rest. We are coming into the figure 8 with our dumbbell, using the dumbbell for the rest of the workout. Isolating through the core, let's lift the right leg, extend the left leg out, chin tucked in. We're passing that dumbbell behind the right leg, scissoring those legs behind the left. Back and forth, making nice figure 8 with the dumbbell. Lower back staying grounded on the mat. Protecting that lumbar spine, chin stays tucked in. And breathe. Good job. 15 more seconds. Right to the end. 5. And rest. Lower the shoulders, the head. Take a moment here. We have 5 more seconds, and we're coming right back into it. For 2 and 1, left leg first. Let's pass it around. Scissor those legs. We're switching directions of our 8s now. Feeling this in the core and the shoulders from passing this dumbbell. Lower back is staying nice and firm. Breathe, breathe, breathe. We have 10 seconds left. For 5, 3, 2, and rest. Ooh, coming into our double crunch. We have one hand on either end of the dumbbell. Dumbbells at our chest, feet are on the ground, and we are crunching into center, knees and dumbbell connect, and we're lowering back down. Back into center, feet come back down. Just coming into that nice double crunch. Make sure you're breathing. We have 15 more seconds. Depending on the weight of your dumbbell, this is either going to be extremely difficult or not as challenging. If you're using a light dumbbell and we are resting, take a moment here, already sweating. Whew. For 2 and 1, last time, coming back into that double crunch. If it's feeling too intense, you can drop your dumbbell, fingers behind the ears, and we're doing the same motion, elbows and knees coming into center, feet connecting back down, and then coming back in. So make sure you're listening to your body, make sure you're constantly challenging yourself, but modifying the exercise when necessary. We have 10 seconds left. Right to the end. And rest. Woo. We're coming into our crescent crunch. The weight is at our chest. We are holding it there. Our elbows are out to the side. We're tucking our chin in and we're reaching the left elbow to our heel, then the right elbow. Coming into those oblique crunches. If you'd like to drop the weight and support your head, you can make a little basket for your head with your interlaced fingers, and you're still going to reach those elbows side to side. You can also reach fingertip to heel. We have 10 seconds left. Core is on fire. Really feeling those abs, and rest. If you need to bring your knees into your chest, give yourself a great big hug, rock from side to side if you're feeling a little tension in that lower back. And we are working again, coming back into that crescent crunch, taking the modifications when you need to. Working on challenging yourself. Maybe decreasing or increasing the load, the weight you're using. Make sure you breathe. Nice deep breath in. Lower back is staying on the mat. Doesn't have to be a huge movement to really feel those obliques firing up. We have one more exercise. We're doing it 2 times. It's our weighted around the world. Legs are straight up. Dumbbell starts in the right hand. We're going to crunch up, chin to chest, pass that dumbbell behind the legs. Left hand has it, lower back down, back to the right, and we're crunching as we pass it behind the leg. The shoulders and head connect back down to pass it from hand to hand. Nice controlled movement here. Keeping those legs vertical. Good job. Less than 5, 3, last pass, and rest. Good job. So take another 5 seconds. We're moving right into the second set here. Lift those legs. If you want to modify this round, you can just clap behind the leg, crunch up and clap. Not any easier, but just lowering the load. So not passing that heavy dumbbell. And if you're using that dumbbell, we're passing it from left to right this time. Trying to lead with the chest. Passing that dumbbell behind the legs, less than 10. 3, and rest. Woo! Come up to seated, grab a sip of water. Take a moment here, allow the body a few moments to rest. Hydrate. Maybe roll the neck if you're feeling a little bit too much tension in it. And then we are doing all of that one more time. 2 times each exercise, just like we just did. So really feeling that burn in our core, coming back to our glutes, coming back to those bear holds. Take another moment or two. Make any adjustments. If you need to grab a heavier or lighter weight, now is the time. If you need to refill your water. All right. Another few moments, maybe roll that neck a little bit more. We'll stretch it all out as we cool down after this next round. All right, so getting ready in that bear hold stance, place your dumbbell off to the side. We're coming through our bear hold climbers, our clamshells with the leg circle, right and left, and then our weighted hip thrust back into all of those core, the figure 8, the double crunch, the crescent crunch, and then the around the world. And then we are going to stretch out and cool down, and then you are done. So it's going to count us down another 10 seconds, getting into our bear hold. So finding your way to the tabletop position. Shoulders are directly over the wrist, knees are hip width apart. Curl those toes under, engage that core, and we're lifting our knees. And we're holding here, nice tight core, zip it up. Press those toes down. Nice strong arms. We're gazing just between the hands. The knees are just hovering slightly. These ones are the hardest part for me. These bear holds, really activating those deep core stabilizing muscles. Maybe feeling this in your quads and your hip flexors too. For 3, 2, and 1, drop those knees. Take a moment here if you need to roll out the wrist, a lot of pressure on the wrist. So just be very mindful. Coming right back into this, let's go. Another 45 seconds. Lifting those knees, holding here. Woo. Definitely feeling the heart rate elevated. Breathe, breathe, breathe. If you need to take a moment, drop the knees, reset that core activation, pull it in nice and tight, keep that posterior tilt, lift right back up. So make sure you're challenging yourself and pushing yourself, but also make sure you're tuned in enough to know if you need to take a modification, if you need to take a moment. For 2 and 1, rest here. We're moving into those bear climbers. So getting even tougher. We're back on our hands and knees. Lift those knees up. Right comes in, then the left. Slow, steady movement. Should be feeling those lower core muscles activating here. If you need to take a moment, flip your wrist, come right back into it. These ones get my heart rate right up there. Keep going. For 4, 3, 2, and rest. Roll those wrists a few times, 10 seconds. Very quick break, and then we're coming right back into it. 3, 2, and 1, back into our tabletop. Set that core, lift those knees, and we're bringing knee into center. Slow little climb. Grounding through the palms here. Feeling our shoulders working. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Pull that core in. Take a moment if you need to, reset, come right back in. For 2 and rest. Woo! Definitely feeling those ones. All right, grab your weight. Oh, not yet. Clamshells coming down on our right side. Good job. And we are lifting those heels. The knee is coming up, open and closing. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Extend that top leg, little circle. And opposite direction. Heels back together, opening and closing. Right to the end, 2 and 1. Take that 10-second rest. We're staying on this side one more time, and then we will flip to the opposite side. All right, and we are elevating those heels, coming into those clams. Definitely feeling a little fatigued, even with just this isolation work. Extend that top leg, little circles one direction. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Opposite direction. That bottom heel is staying elevated. Heels back together. They're lifted up and we are clamshelling it to the end. For 5, 3, 2, and 1. Let's flip sides. Coming down on that opposite side, support your head. Elevate those heels, and we are working. Almost there. 9 and 10. Extend that top leg, little circles. I always find one side is much more difficult than the other. Switch directions. Bottom heel is elevated still. Heels back together, back into our clamshells, right to the end. And rest. Last time here at clamshells, then we're gonna move into those weighted hip thrusts. For 3, 2, and 1, heels lift into those clams. Good job. Make sure you're breathing. And extend that top leg. Little circles one direction. That glute must be firing now. Breathe through that. Switch directions. And heels back together. Clamshells right to the end. For 3, 2, last one, lower down. Let's get down to our backs, right into our bridge. Grab your dumbbell, place it across your hips, feet are hip width apart, and we are moving. Let's lift those hips up, squeeze the glutes, and lower. Exhale, let's lift the glutes, squeeze, inhale, lower. Nice, slow, controlled movement. Really squeeze those glutes at the top. The shoulders, head are relaxed. We're just gently holding that dumbbell in place. We have less than 15. Really feeling my glutes on fire right now. For 2, and last thrust up, lower down. One more time here. Definitely feeling this. And we are working 45 more seconds. So longer time on the clock here for this isolation work, especially for the core, really burning it out. Those bear holds are great to add into your workout, especially if you're working on strengthening through the pelvic floor, working on those deep stabilizing muscles. Good job. Keep lifting those hips, squeezing the glutes. Less than 10. Right to the end. Relax the glutes at the bottom and rest. All right, coming into our figure 8. Dumbbell in the right hand. Right leg is up, left leg is covering chin to chest, and we're passing it behind the right leg, scissoring. Then the left, then the right, then the left. Chin is staying tucked in the whole time. You can drop the weight if you need to, and you're just clapping behind each leg. Keep going. Make sure you're breathing. Make sure that lower back is grounded down on the mat. Bring that nice deep core activation. For 5, 3, 2, and rest. Knees can come into chest just for a moment. If you need to rock side to side, rest the head. And we're coming right back in. Let's switch directions. Start with the left hand, left leg, right leg hovers. Passing it behind each leg as the legs scissor. Breathing here. Slow and controlled passes. Halfway through. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Right to the end. For 3, 2, 1, and rest. Woo. Definitely feeling a little fatigued now. We're coming into that double crunch. So we're either using the dumbbell, feet are starting on the ground, dumbbells at the chest, and we're bringing everything into center, coming back down. If you feel a little fatigue in your neck, hands come behind the ears, bring the elbows and knees in, open back up. So make sure you're breathing here. Tap those feet back down. Try to lead with the chest. We're not just pulling our neck forward if you have the hands behind the head. Almost to the end. And rest. Ooh. Still able to get the heart rate nice and elevated. And we're coming back in, last set here. Back to our double crunches. Use that exhale to come into center. Inhale to lower back down. Always use your exhale in the hardest part of your exercise. Inhale to release. Good job. Keep breathing. Almost there. 10 seconds. And rest. Good job. We're coming into our crescent crunch. So this is the one where we have our dumbbell across our chest. We're holding it there, elbows out to the side, chin tucked in, or reaching elbow towards the heel. Coming into those oblique crunches. Option to put your hands behind your head and still reach those elbows, or you can reach fingertips to heel. Good job. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Don't hold your breath here. Don't create any more tension. Use your breath to your advantage. Lower back is staying grounded. You're not having a big arch and through that back. Protect your lumbar spine. And rest. Ooh, one more time here. And one more exercise. Coming into those crescent crunches again, whether you're modifying for this round or not. That bend is coming from the waist. Lower back is staying firm. Breathe. Less than 15. 10. Keep going, right to the end. For 3, 2, 1. Lower down. One more exercise, 2 times here. So we're coming into the around the world. Legs stay straight. You have the dumbbell in the right hand. We're gonna crunch up to pass it to the left. Lower back down. Take a moment to pass the dumbbell across the body. Crunch up to pass it behind the leg. You don't have to go for speed here. Go for that slow, controlled movement. Really feeling this in the core. Good job. 10 seconds. One more time after the, that's it. And rest. Woo. Take a moment. You can pull those knees into the chest. And then we're going to extend the legs up. We're going to lead with the left hand first this time. So crunching up to pass the dumbbell behind the leg to the right hand, lower back down to pass it back over. Slow control. Good job. You're lowering out of the crunch to pass the dumbbell hand to hand in front of the leg. And you're coming into that crunch to pass it behind the leg. Make sure you're breathing. And rest. Put that dumbbell down, bring those knees in, give yourself a great big hug, maybe rock from side to side. Woo. Definitely feeling that. Feeling the burn through my glutes, through my core. A nice low impact, still getting the heart rate up. You can come up to a seated position. Oh, good job, everybody. So let's stretch through that core a little bit. From our seat, we're gonna place our hands in front, come back through table just for a moment. Step those legs out, coming into upward facing dog, dropping the hips down. The shoulders are directly over the wrists. You can bring the feet nice and wide if you have some lower back tension, or the feet can be together depending on how it feels for your hips. And we're pressing the hips down, pulling the shoulder blades back and together. Good. Maybe gazing towards the ceiling. And then we're pushing back into child's pose just for a moment, hips towards heels. The arms are staying extended. Maybe feeling that nice stretch through the lower back. And then making your way into a seated position. You can cross the legs, whatever comfortable seat that is for you. Inhale the right arm up, bend the right elbow, place the right hand on the left ear, and gently guide the right ear towards the right shoulder. And you can stay here, or you can gently walk the left fingers out into the side to deepen through this stretch. And then play with the chin position, maybe tucking it in towards the body or lifting it up towards the ceiling. Depends on where you hold tension. So once you find a little bit of tension, we're going to hold there, breathe through. Still sitting up nice and tall. And then releasing, come back to center, roll your shoulders. Maybe come into some semicircles or full circles with the neck. And then back to center. Inhale the left arm up and that left elbow, left hand, just rest gently on that right ear. We're gonna guide the left ear towards the left shoulder. Maybe walking those right fingertips out, play with that chin position, tuck it in, lift it up, find that tension and hold. Another breath here, in through the nose and out through the nose. Inhale, release back to center, back to those semicircles. Come up to center, roll those shoulders a few times. Let's stretch out through the glutes, hands come behind the back. And we're bringing our feet to the floor, knees are bent, place the right ankle across the left thigh. And then you can walk that left foot in towards the body, walk your hands back in towards the body as well, and hold in place until you feel that stretch through your glute. So we're targeting stretching through the right side. The closer your left heel is into the body, the deeper this stretch is going to be felt. Same for your hands. The closer in they are, the more you're going to feel this through that right glute. Keep the right foot flexed. And start to walk the hands back, the left foot out. Carefully remove the right ankle from the leg. And we're going to switch sides. So the left ankle crosses over, rest on the right thigh. And then start to walk that right leg in, maybe the hands back in towards the body. Feel that deep stretch through the left glute. We're coming into nice deep breaths here, starting to really slow down and control your breathing. Good job. Start to walk that right foot away, walk your hands out, carefully release the left ankle, come back into a comfortable seat. And take a nice deep breath, arms reach up, palms come together. And exhale, slowly bring those hands back down to center. You can lock your gaze on your thumbs. Inhale, reach those arms up. The gaze rests on the thumbs as we slowly exhale back down to center. One more time, inhale. And slow, steady exhale. Good job, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me for this class. Lots of fun. Really felt that fire in my core, in my glutes. Hopefully you guys did too. And I will see you all again next Saturday for another fun burning workout.
Thank you. Have a good week.